I still remember the day 18 years ago when I first began to tell my family that I wanted to enter into the seminary. And I have to be honest, I was quite afraid to do so. That is because I am what is called a revert to the faith. A revert is someone who grew up and was raised Catholic, but for any number of reasons left the church, did his or her own thing for a long time, and then came back. That's what happened to me. I left the church when I was around 14 years old because I had all of the answers in life. Didn't need anyone to tell me what to do, especially didn't need the church to tell me what to do. I did my own things for a decade, and then I had a major conversion experience and came back. I was scared to death to let my family know I wanted to be a priest, or rather that God was calling me to be a priest. I was afraid that they were going to remember that person many years before who did a lot of things that God would not have approved of. I did a lot of things I'm not proud of, but things that made me who I am, and the important thing is that I don't do them anymore. But I was afraid. You see, I was afraid that what was going to happen to me would be the same that what happened to Jesus in our gospel reading today. In our gospel reading today, Jesus is going back to his hometown of Nazareth. He is in the synagogue and he is preaching the word. And a lot of people are amazed at what he said. A lot of people are encouraged by what he says. A lot of people really enjoy listening to what he is saying. But then they turn against Jesus. They call Jesus the carpenter. All they can remember is what Jesus was before he was the great preacher that he is shown to be in our gospel reading today. They could only remember Jesus years in the past when he was just the local carpenter. They failed to believe that God was at work in him. They failed to believe that he was now a different person than he was. They failed to believe that he truly was doing God's work. How many times in our own lives are we afraid to do God's work? Are we afraid that we're going to be judged by people based on what we were maybe a little while ago or maybe a long time ago? We all become different people in life. We all change our lives. We all turn our lives around. But how often are we afraid to express our faith because of that? We might be afraid that people will make fun of us, that people will ridicule us, or that people might even want to be out of our lives because we change. Many times we have a major conversion experience in life. We start to take our faith seriously and we want to become more and more active in the church. But maybe fears hold us back because we're afraid that what's going to happen to us would be the same as what happened to Jesus. Well, I have good news to report. My family was very supportive of my vocation. They were very supportive of me entering into the seminary. What is unfortunate that the people in Jesus' hometown were not supportive of him. So my friends, today let us think about whatever it is in our lives that may be holding us back from doing God's will. Whatever it is in our lives that may be holding us back from becoming more and more active in the church. Let us pray that whatever fears we have will be taken away. Jesus knows what it is like to be rejected. And if we are rejected, he will give us the grace that we need to get through the rejection. He will give us the grace that we need to be the people he wants us to be. He will give us the grace that we may need to do his will. Now there's one other way of looking at this gospel reading in addition to that way. Yes, we may be afraid that we will be judged harshly by others, but let us ask ourselves this question. Are we the ones who are judging others harshly? Are we afraid to accept that people can change their lives around? Are we only willing to remember what people were in the past and not who they are now? Everybody changes, even the people in our lives who we may not like very much, but they can turn their lives around just like we turn our lives around. And how quick may we be to judge them harshly, just like we're afraid to have others treat us harshly. If someone has asked us to forgive them, let us pray that we will be able to do just that we will be able to see that they have changed. If people are becoming more and more active in their faith, and maybe they were lukewarm in the past, let us accept that that change has taken place. Let us accept the fact that God has been greatly at work in their lives. Just like we're afraid to be treated harshly and judged harshly, We must not treat others harshly and judge them harshly. My friends, that is the message of our gospel reading today. Let us take these words to heart. Let us take the message of the gospel to heart, not just this Sunday, but each and every day of our lives. Because, my friends, when we take the gospel to heart and when we do the will of God each and every day of our lives, we will live with God forever in the glories of heaven. And may God bless all of you.